Hello, this is the fourth video in the series showing you how to become a VITA volunteer. So in this video, we're going to talk about using the TaxSlayerPro Practice Lab. All right, so as you know, we've learned so far that to volunteer, you're going to have to create an account at irs.gov for VITA Central. You're going to have to take some tests. So we talked about your choices of the kind of tests. And now we're going to talk about using TaxSlayer Pro while you take these tests. So here's the deal. If you take basic or advanced, and again, I explained all this, the difference back in video 2. If you take basic or advanced, you're going to be doing tax returns. And to do tax returns, you will be using TaxSlayer Pro software, and you'll enter the data in and it'll do the tax return for you. Like, I don't know if you ever used TurboTax or one of those, but it's the same idea. You type in the stuff and it gives you the tax return. So you got to practice that, right? So because part of the tests, when you take these tests, they not only have some multiple choice ones that are like, oh, how much is the standard deduction? But they'll say, here's some scenarios. Here's this person. They've got these kids. Go to TaxSlayer Pro, type in this information, and then answer questions about the return. So you have to actually use the practice lab to take the tests. So go to Link and Learn and learn how to do that. And I'm going to show you using TaxSlayer Pro. So TaxSlayer Pro is out in the Link and Learn. So here's a link to it, but you've already seen the, you know what, I'm not going to go directly there. First I want to show you the Link and Learn. All right, so you've seen Link and Learn right here at VITA Central. And so here's where you'd go to VITA Central to take the tests. We're not going to do that yet. Here's the tax software practice lab. So this is a link to the TaxSlayer Pro software, right? And so it's asking me to sign in. So that's fine. We'll get to that in just a minute. For you will have to sign up for it. So when you go out and you go to TaxSlayer Pro, you got to sign in, and then it's going to ask you to actually get a login and password of your own. So when you first land there, there's going to be a landing page and you'll have to type in this password, Train Pro Web. Then you go on and you have to get a user ID and password for you to use the practice area. Now this TaxSlayer Pro that you're going to use, it's a practice lab, so you can't hurt anything. You're not actually doing taxes. When you actually start doing taxes, I'm going to give you your own sign-in for a live TaxSlayer Pro. So practice, do all you want. It's fine. All right, so the first thing you have to do is get out to TaxSlayer Pro. So I'm just going to follow the link. And this is where you put in that Train Pro Web. Right? So remember, when you first get to the first landing page, it asks you to enter password. So that's the password, Train Pro Web. All right, let me see. Yeah, Train Pro Web. Okay, and then you log in. What? Maybe it didn't like TrainProWeb. Train Pro Web. There you go. Okay, I like that. Okay, so it's trying to sign me in, which is fine. If but you won't have one. So you're going to have to select create account. And again, it just is to use, this is to use practice lab only. This has nothing to do with actual TaxSlayerPro Pro software in the actual VITA office where you actually do returns. I will set you up with your password. You will have that totally separately. So this is just a new account. So you would fill in your email address, username, password. These passwords are ridiculous. They have to be like it's something crazy, like like 18 numbers and letters and symbols. Um, but you know, there you go. You have to have it. So you put this stuff in, create an account, and eventually you'll end up with being able to sign into the practice lab. Um, Now there is a bunch of information here. You know, you might find it useful to use some of these guides. They're going to show you how to use Train Pro Web. I'm sorry, um, Practice Lab, and things like that. You can also use that publication 4012. That has actual guidance. Let me come back here and show you. So you remember we've got all these different guidances, and again, there's actual copies of these available in Blackboard in the shared file. You can just go to irs.gov, type in 4012, and it'll come up with a PDF of it. So IRS Publication 4012 actually has TaxSlayer Pro information in it. So there's plenty of guidance out there for how to physically do this stuff. But when you're taking the tests for basic or advanced or foreign student, you would need to be able to sign in. And so to actually use the practice lab, you say go to practice area. And this is actually what TaxSlayer Pro looks like. This looks exactly like what you'll be doing in the lab. So to start a return, you would just type that, and then you type in some um, type in stuff, and click Start Return. And they start up. It keeps wanting to change my password. It's going to start up with there you go. What is this? Oh, this person's single or married, right? And you just start doing your tax return. Now, when you're taking your tests, of course, you'll have your test booklet open and you'll be filling in the information based on the test, right? So you would have your textbook in front of you, or test booklet, I guess I'd call it, test booklet. And it would say, okay, here's a scenario, and you would type into TaxSlayer Pro all that information, and then eventually you would end up with a tax return, and then you can answer questions on the test. So see, I've done some, and you can see them, and eventually you would end up with a tax return. All right, so I guess that's it. Basically, video 4 was about you have to use TaxSlayer Pro Practice Lab. So in order to do that, you have to go there. You have to get into the area where you create an account by using the password Train Pro Web. Then once you're in the username and password creation page, create your username and password, and then start using TaxSlayer Pro. All right, so that's it for this video. You know how to get in touch with me if you need some more help. And I do appreciate you volunteering, believe me. All right, I'll see you on the next video, which is kind of how to actually take the tests.